Hey my monkeys, welcome to today's episode of Monkey Analytics. I'm Dr. Mark and hope to add value to you today. Let's start with today's topics, which are first, the team selection process, which includes an overview, assumptions and conclusions, as well as early game formations. And of course, some breeding expectations of my side, how I plan to improve my team. Let's head over to the first topic, the team selection process and overview. Before a game starts, you are able to choose with which monkey you want to play this game. You have 4 positions to choose from: striker, midfielder, defender and goalkeeper. You can put each monkey in any position, but the perks which are boosting your actions are only activated in the position you have chosen at the start of the game. The higher the action scores, the higher your winning probability in a 1 versus 1 against another monkey. We play 6 versus 6 and assume that we are able to pick different tactical formations like 2-1-2-1 or 1-3-1-1. The 5th point is not confirmed, but I guess we can assume that it is like that. And as we are at assumptions, let's make some before we build our teams. Main actions can be performed anytime and special actions have to be triggered and have a probability of failure based on the alpha score. Main actions need less stamina to be performed and special actions have to be trained or achieved through missions in-game, so you don't have all of them at the start of the game. Main actions are stats driven and special actions are perks driven, as you have seen in my last video. I won't go deeper into it now. Main actions are easier to counter, and if a special action succeeds, it's most likely a huge advantage in winning probability. And please be aware that all of my conclusions and assumptions are based on my actual knowledge of Monkey League. Conclusion 1. Main actions will be used more frequently as you need less stamina and have no conditions of usage. Conclusion 2. As you don't have all special actions at the start of the game, the calculated current potential is not what it looks like, as it is the average of all 20 actions and you only have 6 at the start. So let's concentrate on the average of the main actions. Conclusion 3. Special actions and perks are getting more important the further your monkeys are leveled and trained in special actions, so he can give you the edge in each fight. Here is again a short video of the team selection. Of course it's 6 and not 4 monkeys in the end. Nice. Let's head over to the early game formation in search for good starters. We will go through some histograms which will show you a good overview about how or which monkeys you can choose for each position or what you are able to get, because the market is pretty hot right now. The first histogram shows the starting stats of monkeys. We can derive limits from this. All monkeys with less than 55 starting stats are below average. Between 55 to 64 is average, and in this range you are already in good hands and have good monkeys, you can say. Between 64 and 75 you are above average, and if you find monkeys which are between 64 and 75 with good perks, you are on the right track to train an elite monkey if you consider the area from early to mid game. Anything over 75 is an early bird, and if you don't know what an early bird is, I recommend my other videos. So when you select monkeys based on stats, try to get some starting stats above 64 so that you can enjoy an early advantage in the area of action scores, and with this strengthen your winning probability. The next histogram is about strikers. to be exact, the starting stats or starting potential of strikers, and only the first 8,000 of them. But it hasn't shifted much to the left or to the right with the other minted monkeys because it's all random. As you can see, the description is as before: below average, average, above average, and elite monkeys, good strikers, are beginning at a current potential of 18. So look for mid-game rulers with high perks here, or look into the monkeys between 18 and 21 and search for high stats monkeys. Because, as we know, the current potential is the average of all 20 actions, and we know most likely we don't have all 20 actions in the beginning of the game. This leads to the conclusion that there are some hidden gems between the range of 18 to 21, because the real current potential of your monkey is most likely the average of the main actions, which are stats driven. That's why it is important to look at the stats and main actions too. The perfect example for this is this goalie I bought for 7.2 Solana. His main action skills to protect the goal are outstanding. He is clearly an early bird with stats of 77. So if you find a monkey with, for example, 18 to 21 current potential, go into it, look for his stats, and maybe you get surprised for his main actions, which will be most likely pretty important at the start of the game. The midfielder, goalie, and defender are pretty much the same as the striker. Of course, the goalies are a little bit more rare, so it's shifted a bit to the left. As you can see here, it's 1 point more to the left side. The last point to look at is the alpha score. If you have a perk monkey, you should look at alpha scores above 610, as it helps you in succeeding in special actions. If you have a stats monkey, 500 to 600 are okay too. But actually we don't know the real influence of the alpha score. But be aware, it could be pretty much. So let's make a recapture, because it's a little bit complicated when it's your first time in the monkeyverse. As we have learned, when looking at monkeys, don't forget the main actions. Just don't look just at the current potential, because at the start of the game, the most important thing will be the main actions. And later on they will be important too, because they cost less stamina. The second thing I want to recapture is the part with mid-game rulers. I think it is important to mix some mid-game rulers into your formation with starting stats of 65 or higher, so that you have a head start, plus you maintain this level of a higher winning probability through the higher leveling speed of the mid-game rulers, or of course sniper monkeys. The last point, which I didn't mention before, but you have to decide for yourself, is your playstyle when choosing the monkeys. For example, do you need long ball for the goalie because you expect high returns or fast goals because you can make a head start or something like that? Then go for it. If not, if you think a goalie is there for keeping the goal clean, ignore the stats and exclude it from your calculations. For example, the goalie you've seen before, his protecting the goal main actions average is 26.5 in average. But if you add long ball, it's only 23.5. Because his passing ability or passing stats and his long ball stats from his perks are not that good. So, for example, my goalie will level only defense at the start, so I exclude it in my starting perspective of this monkey. Later on, for endgame, of course, long ball gives you more tactical options. So But at the start, I won't look at longbow, because I won't level it anyway. All will go in defense. And control, but long story short, just be aware of the phase of the game you are in, and what stats you would level, and which actions and maybe special actions they influence. Because at the start of the game, you will level the actions with the most benefit to you. The striker, for example, accuracy, midfielder passing, defender defense, and goalie defense and control. Because you get the most out of it. So question yourself always, which actions are profiting the most out of them, and what is the actual score of these actions when you make a purchase of a monkey in the actual phase. And of course build the average of the actions you will level. Because that's the actions which will make you strong at the start and help you in succeeding. So let's be honest, what is a good current potential giving you if the actual potential he has isn't benefited by the stats you will level? So it's all for naught if you do that. Be aware of that. It's not that uncommon that there are tricky monkeys on the market. So let's head over to breeding and how breeding can improve your team. Breeding in general is you putting two monkeys into a breeding capsule, or not the monkeys, the blood or the DNA of both of them, and then you add MBS as a trigger to it, and a new monkey is born out of them. Breeding is limited to breeding seasons, and breeding capsules will be sold according to the actual demand of new players, which is pretty good because you don't inflate the population. You can breed with any two monkeys you have until the breeding limit is reached. So the question is, which monkeys should I breed with? Maybe make your own decisions. Here are the quotes of the Monkey League team or Aaron Lindberg himself. First, your breeded monkey will have a 33% chance probability of receiving an appearance trait from each parent and a 33% probability of getting a mutated traits. Skills will be mutations of the parents, as well as the perks. That is why when you breed two strong monkeys, it's very likely to get a beast. And if you breed two weak ones, you still have the chance to get a strong monkey. Additionally, if you beefed your monkeys up to high skill levels and then breed, the new monkey will start out with higher stats too. That were the last recent quotes, so let's make a mind game. You breed your best starter with your best max potential. Maybe you get something strong out of it. And if both have a good alpha score, you're on a good way. I hope I could help you to find or search for the monkeys you need, especially for the start of the game, and that you can close the gaps you maybe still have with a good breeding strategy. If you liked this video, please let a like here and hit the subscribe button. Bye bye.